Okay, the second half. So now, I hope you guys enjoyed the first half. We're going to move on to the kind of the highlight of the show, which is an interview with Miles Stroth. Anyone, if you raise your hands, who is familiar with who Miles Stroth is as an improviser? For you guys, he's a legendary improviser from Chicago, and he. Is this going?
Just.
There we go. And he studied at IO Chicago with Del Close. Del Close is kind of like the godfather of improvisational comedy. He now has a theater in LA called The Pack. And he teaches there, teaches the Deconstruction. And he was a part of the longest running UCB cage match team with Heather Ann Campbell. And anyway, so the team that he played with, the family, was this team that studied under Del. And they were the pioneers of a couple different formats. The movie format, which is maybe one we'll see eventually on our show.
Yeah, and one that you might have seen Good Luck Barbara do here on the stage.
And the Deconstruction. They were the founding, the creators of the format. And this is like a who's who of comedy in a lot of ways, this list. You've got Matt Besser and Ian Roberts, two of the people who created Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. And Miles is right there, and Adam McKay, Oscar-winning film director, Ali Farnakian, who founded the Pitt Theater in New York, and Neil Flynn, who's been in a lot of sitcoms, he was in Scrubs and The Middle. And yeah, so it's like an all-star team.
So it's a great pleasure and honor to actually today Skype with Miles, and he will teach us a bit of the Deconstruction, tell us a bit about it, like what's the deal with it, how it came up, and give us the nitty-gritty of how we should perform a Deconstruction, and then with fantastic guests we will do a set.
Yeah.
So maybe let's introduce.
Let's bring on our guests.
So our guests, in order of how they're standing right now. Matilde! And here comes Chris and Miles. We're connecting you, Miles, right now. We're
plugging you into the projector right now.
It's like having a head in the gold.
Whoa! Here we go.
Okay, and is it up on the projector?
Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh, wow.
Miles, you're seeing yourself in a projector right now.
So anyway, thank you.
That's Miles' backyard, everybody.
How's it going, Miles?
It's going pretty good. How y'all doing there?
Very good.
Seems like you have quite a bit of light there. We're like still going through the darkness.
It's daytime here.
I figured. So we will ask you a bit about the Deconstruction. Could you tell us a bit like how the Deconstruction came to be? How you guys came up with it? And what were you trying to express, and what did you want the audience to take from it?
Well, initially, we were trying to move away from the Herald. In particular, the opening. While we could do openings, we weren't particularly fond of them. The opening to the Herald can be its own difficult form to pull off. And we kind of had the question, can we just start the show with a scene? So we don't have to do the opening. And then the opening, in that sense, became the scene. So the question was, how many different ways can you be inspired by a single scene? And we started like breaking that down. It's like, how many levels of information can we see in this one given scene? And in doing so, like what we used to do was basically just do a scene and then just do sort of a montage of anything that we could imagine being inspired from that scene. Now, what I did over a lot of years, that sort of broke down what the family wound up doing. Because, as you pointed out so generously a moment ago, that was a very good crew of players. And what they were able to do, you couldn't just say, hey, do what we did because, well, it was them. But I kind of broke it down to, well, we seem to do all these different things. We seem to do thematic scenes and what I call commentary scenes, or very game-driven, position-based scenes. We did movie reference in our run. We did a lot of different things, but not in any particular order. I broke it down and laid it out in an order so that other people could sort of learn what I perceive to be the things that made our deconstructions work the best. But ultimately, you should learn all that and then sort of get rid of it. Because it should come back to you as an individual artist, when you see a scene, how many different ways can you be inspired by it?
So that's what you think the audience should see, like from the initial scene, like how the initial scene stems from the initial scene. We have different scenes that stem from it and are inspired by the initial scene, like in different ways.
Was that a question?
It was an attempt to affirm what I was thinking right now.
I guess our next good question would be, so what is the format of the deconstruction that you most often find yourself teaching? Chris, when he teaches us here, he calls it what you've labeled a training wheels deconstruction.
Sure, that's a fairly insulting way to describe my version of the deconstruction.
That's what Brian's called. You know that, right?
But Chris's point is correct. He's saying in a more insulting way what I just said, which is once you've learned all the elements that go into a deconstruction, then you should just back off the structure and allow yourself to be inspired moment to moment as an ensemble. And to what the other guy said, forgive me, because I don't know who's talking. All I see on my screen is two girls staring at me on a monitor screen. So I'm not sure who I'm talking to at any given moment.
The guy with the non-questions is me, natural, here standing with a South American accent. That's me. What's up?
Yeah, it's like, I believe that I put together a very good learning structure that you can learn a lot of the elements that go into making most any long form piece work. So in that sense, it's a great learning structure. But like any form, it's just a learning tool. It's not the end. It's not the answer. It's a place to begin. What made the family so great initially anyway was when we did Heralds, ultimately, we were kind of like, well, fuck this form, because it's constricting us. It's not letting us do a lot of things we want to do. And a lot of our breakthroughs came from when someone would tell us not to do something. And we'd be like, well, you can't tell us not to do something, because now that's all we're going to fucking do. Because everything works. So it's a great structure, and to me it's a moving away from Herald in a way that should happen, and should happen more. Because Herald is that's the training wheels. That's all right, here's basically a way to generate ideas. Here are some scenes across time that circle and connect, and it's divided by 2 games, so that the Herald accomplishes what I basically ask from any long-form structure, is that it show me variety, and at the end of it, it make me feel like I was told a story. But once you have those ideas, firmly in mind, you no longer need the structure. Then you just need a group of people of similar mind to fucking play with and explore.
Cool. Some of the people here might have absolutely no idea of what's the structure of the deconstruction. Could you go through the structure with us?
I can lay it out real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many people in the room, I'm sure Chris has been working on this. I I can lay it out, but it may sound just like an overwhelming little thing for me. And the structure of the deconstruction, as I teach it, this is my structure. The family had no structure. We answered the question, how many different ways can you be inspired by a scene? I looked at our work, broke it down to its most successful elements, and then laid them out in a structure so that people could learn those elements. And as I lay it out, it looks like this. You do an opening scene that is primarily realistic. It doesn't have to be absolutely serious. It can be funny, but the idea in that opening scene is to generate information for the rest of the piece. That opening scene should be about 6 to 8 minutes long. We're talking about a 30-minute piece. It should try and introduce information both at the reference level. It should also create a relationship that we give a shit about, because that scene is going to be our through line. After the opening scene, you have 2 thematic scenes that last about 1.5 to 2 minutes each, which are character-driven. The idea of peas in a pod, the idea of doing a character mirror so that the theme stands out. After those, and 1 theme for each player in the opening scene. After that, when we return to the opening scene playing for another 1.5 to 2 minutes, heightening how it saw itself perceived in the 2 character-driven scenes. After that, we go into the commentary, where we look for anything that we saw as fucked up. So in the character-driven scenes, we had theme represented. Now we're looking for, beneath that theme, what's the specific behavior, the things that caught our eye or ear, that struck us as fucked up, that we want to comment on. We want to say, that was wrong, that was kind of fucked up, I want to say something about that. And in those scenes, the primary approach is straight absurd, where someone does the fucked up, but you take it somewhere else. You take that behavior and you put it somewhere else, and you illustrate how, yeah, that's fucking wrong. And you do about 5 or 6 of those. Those are about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes each. They're a little shorter because if you know that scene type, you already know what the game is when you start the scene, so you shouldn't need as much time. After the commentary scenes, you do a quick 30-second revisit of the opening scene, primarily just to mark the end of the commentary scene, to put 1 more thread in there as the opening scene going through the piece, and to start the run. Now in the run, what you want to deal with are the storyline characters mentioned. That means the characters that surround the opening scene in the world of the opening scene. Like if in the opening scene they mention their parents or their friends or their boss, those are all mentioned characters that you want to present early in the run. Because if you don't present them early, they're not going to get in. Because the run is also open for any tangent you've heard. Anything that caught your ear that wasn't particularly significant, but it sounded fun to play with real quick, you can play with that. You also want to look to incorporate in the run any reference, like if there was a movie reference or a literary reference. You want? I'm sorry. Am I being interrupted? Am I being interrupted?
No.
What happened?
No?
Oh.
All good.
I might have just heard some feedback. All right. Let's see. I'm describing the run. So in the run, because the piece is also an exercise in pace. Oh, I get it. What I'm hearing is my own voice coming back. There's a delay. Okay.
Is that too distracting? It's okay.
So you're interrupting yourself.
The piece is also an exercise in pace. So in the run, once the run starts, nothing should be on stage for longer than 30 seconds. And it should be a crescendo of pace, faster and faster and faster, down to like 5-second, 2-second hits, to the point where you lose control of being able to accomplish anything on stage. But at the same time, you don't just walk on stage and do bullshit. You actually try, even if it's for just 2 seconds. And it gets edited, and we go to the next thing, and eventually you lose control of the run, the opening scene comes back and closes the piece. It can do a full circle, moving forward in time or backward in time, but that's the simple line of the deconstruction.
Well, that's really helpful because that's more or less what we're going to do with the performers now to sort of demonstrate for the audience. Because Nacho and I just did our 2 version, so we've made a lot of modifications to that just to make it work for us as performers. But do you see a value in having a large group do something like this because everyone can retain so much information in different ways. Little things might stick out to different people.
Absolutely. I mean, like I've seen people do like one-person deconstructions or two-person deconstructions, and I'm just like, that's why? Why are you doing that? It's like, the idea doesn't lend itself to that. If you're doing a small cast, two-person show, it's like, no, just be yourselves and see what happens next, and make something else happen. But if you're going after something like this, you want to grow. And by all
That's
means,
really, really nice. So I think
by all means, change it. By all means, change it. Bring to it whatever you want to bring to it. No form, as taught, as discovered, is meant to be definitive. It's all a place to jump off from next.
Cool.
that's great.
Could I ask you something, Miles? As I remember learning the deconstruction from you, I think we had a pretty loose definition of how we would make choices from one realistic scene to the next realistic scene. I think we pretty clearly laid out the idea that we liked at the end for the last realistic scene, going back to the beginning of the story, doing a flashback at that point. And that was a concept that you'd introduced us to. But beyond that, I think the narrative steps we took were kind of just whatever seemed appropriate to us. And I kind of wonder if the pacing of when the realistic scene comes back in the whole piece, in your structure of the decon, is similar to what the family was doing, where just every now and then they were cutting back to that realistic scene. And also, if you think there is any kind of pattern to the sort of narrative choices that were being made, or was it just really kind of whatever came to mind?
I'll leave it to Chris to ask a bunch of good fucking questions, all in one question. Well, the idea of going back in time, it depends on the state of the opening scene. Like what was introduced? Does the audience want to see what happens to that relationship in the future, or is it more useful to go back to how that relationship began, because we know where it's going to wind up? So that it depends on the opening scene. The pacing of the piece, as I lay it out, is to teach pace. Within a family deconstruction, the pace could have varied. It might have moved fast and then slowed down, but then picked up again. Because pace is a tool, like any other tool. So it doesn't have to go one way. The general rule is you start slower, you end faster. But yes, you can, as long as you adjust, the real question there becomes, what's best for the piece? Recognize the piece you're playing, because it should be its own invention every night. And in that way, I think you'll answer your own question. But saying, is it okay to move faster in the middle of the piece? I don't know. Sure. That's tonight's piece. That's whatever this piece is. It's a living thing that's about to disappear. So take care of it as best you can.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks so much, Miles. So now we're gonna, using all this new wisdom that the audience has been bestowed on, we're gonna do a deconstruction, and if you want to stick around and watch, we can place you right where you are in the audience, a little bit further back, so you can see. And we'll unplug.
They're all watching.
We'll take you off.
Don't fuck up my work.
And we'll take you off the projector so that you don't look like a deconstruction overlord. So let's move you. Can you see the? No, probably not. We can move you further back. Not
Do you
sure.
need any help here?
Yeah, sure.
Watch the mic. This is really funny.
I unplugged him from the,
Yeah.
because he treated like a whole thing here.
All right, you still there, Miles? Okay, cool. So we,
Good seat, it's really
we got the best seat in the house. Okay, cool. Anyway, so now we're gonna do.
Wait, can you use that other chair?
So we're gonna do a decon after talking about it, and all we need to get started is one word suggestion.
Blackboard.
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 Blackboard. Thank you.
You waste a lot of time. You're a smart kid. I don't know why.
You don't know why I'm a smart kid or why I waste a lot of time?
Shut up. I don't know why you're here right now instead of playing video games or whatever you want. Why do you have to talk back?
I just think you're wrong most of the time. And I think that I'm at the age where I'm allowed to say that. I
10
think you're
years
full of
old.
shit. Yeah.
I could punish you. I could give you a Saturday for saying the word shit.
Okay, well then why don't you? It will make you seem less full of shit because you'll actually follow through.
I like you.
Okay?
I'm trying to be a cool teacher with you. You're making it hard.
Why are you trying to be a cool teacher?
Our teachers are supposed to be cool. My favorite teachers were cool teachers. I want to do a good job. But you don't want to do a good job.
I do a good job. Just not the way you see a good job being done. I do my own version of a good job.
Okay. What's a good job for you?
Getting it right?
Getting it right?
Yeah?
Mhm.
Just doing the right thing.
Do you think you've been doing the right thing?
Yes?
Do you think you're helping the rest of the class learn math?
No. That's your job.
Your job is to make jokes while I try to do my job.
So it would seem. Yes. Yes! Humor is important.
All right. I'll give you a Saturday. You want one?
Sure. As I said, I appreciate follow through.
I'm going to call your parents in. Have they been finding out about all the detentions I'm giving you, stuff like that?
I mean, if they were around, they would find out, but since they aren't, no.
You have problems at home?
Well, since my parents aren't there, yeah, primarily, yes, I have problems at home.
You remind me of me when I was a kid.
Ah, this speech, I love it.
You should get to figure out when someone's going to forgive you for something and stop fucking it up.
Wait, who's forgiving me? You?
I keep trying to let your problems slide, and you keep making that harder. Have you noticed how long I have not filled out this Saturday form?
Yeah, I have noticed that, and I find that pretty frustrating.
Well, I don't like the idea of taking a kid who has problems at home, just like I did, who mouths off, just like I did, and then making his life worse by taking his free time away from him.
Well, look at you. Do you think you're successful?
You want to be like me?
No. But if you think.
So shut the fuck up! Make better choices!
Okay. Did you make better choices?
Than myself?
No. Did you choose to make better choices to get where you are now?
Better is a comparative word.
You used it!
You think you're a smart piece of shit, but you're not.
But
The reason you get to believe you're smart is because adults like me play soft with you. Do you understand that?
I asked you not to play soft 3 times! But all you do is play
You don't know how hard it is out there. You don't know how hard adults can be if they treat you like an adult. But soon, you are going to be treated like an adult. Is that what you need?
Us. Sure. Yes. You filling out that Saturday form?
Filling out the Saturday form.
This is the book, and you have to live by it, okay?
Book.
Everything that you need to know is in this book.
Everything I need to know is in this book?
Yes.
This very book right here.
This is the code in which we all live by it. If you do not abide by this standard set of rules, all chaos might break out. It is a terrible world out there.
So I'm supposed to open it?
If you do not open this and read this page by page and learn it and ground it into your brain,
Ground it into my
these
brain.
rules and these systems, all hope is lost.
Well, then I better get started at it, huh?
Oh yeah, just ask me a question and I'll just ask you one right back.
Oh, well, maybe you should ask me a question first.
I don't have to answer your questions. You don't tell me what to do. I do what I want.
Oh, I'm not gonna start this thing, you know?
I already know everything. You don't have to start anything.
Ha, you know everything?
Yeah, I know
I
everything.
knew you were gonna say that, you know?
How did you know? No, I know everything. You don't know anything. I know everything. I'm the boss. When I was 15, I already knew that I was smarter than all my teachers.
Yeah, when I was 5, I was cleaning after my mother, you know? She was a mess.
No,
I was doing all
my
the
mother was a
housework.
mess.
What?
No, my mother was the mess. My dad was a mess too, and my aunt. I knew more than all of them. I still do.
Yeah. I'm much better than you. For sure. I have everything under control, you know?
Why?
I already figured out this conversation ages ago. I knew you were gonna come with me with all this bullshit.
I knew everything you were going to say just then.
Oh yeah?
I wrote it in my journal yesterday.
Yeah, I have a program that has an algorithm that is going to match everything you fucking say.
I wrote that program last week.
I debugged you.
You stay here. A+.
Thanks.
You did a great job.
Thank you. I know.
Wasn't that really easy?
Yeah, but it wasn't necessary.
You know all the answers on the test.
Yep.
Why can't you just cooperate with the system and let it go smoothly?
Why would you teach me to cooperate with the system? You are the system, and look at you. You are the saddest man I've ever met. You emanate this just sadness.
Let me tell you what I could have done. I could have gotten A+ on my tests. I could have gotten a scholarship to an amazing school. I could have done whatever I wanted. I could have been an astronaut. I could have programmed robots. I could have become a brain surgeon.
Are you waiting for me to interrupt you?
You can do those things easily, realistically, and you are choosing not to.
Really, easily, realistically. I've been going home to an empty home for 3 years now. Every once in a while, somebody pops in to check on me and do some groceries. What realistically do you think I could do? Realistically, it's a miracle I am here in the morning.
I appreciate that you're here in the morning.
Sir, could you roll down your window, sir?
Yes, officer?
You know I could fine you, but you're having a lucky day. I'm not going to. But I just wanted to let you know that I could. Your taillight is broken.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But I'm not going to do that. I could, motherfucker.
Okay.
But I'm not going to.
I'm really sorry, officer. I'll get it fixed. That's it's really kind of you, but by all means, do your job. You don't have to take it, out on me.
Oh, I could do my job. I definitely could do my job. Are you insulting me right now?
No, sorry, officer. I'm sorry.
I can take you to the station for contempt, yeah?
I don't want that.
Are you resisting arrest?
I'm not, sir.
I'm not going to, though. I'm not going to. I just want to have this conversation with you. I want you to know that I could mess you up. I could just, get out of the car, sir. Get out of the car.
Sir, officer.
I'm here to apply for the brain surgeon and astronaut and robot building position.
Is this another joke? Is this another joke job application? We get these all the time.
No, I can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a hospital. You have to go to school first.
I have great potential. So I'm just applying and I'll figure it out as I go, I guess.
Listen, I'm gonna help you out. That's not how it works.
I've seen a lot of Sesame Street, so I think I know how it works.
Yeah, I got an A+ in high school maths, so...
Okay, so listen, you have to apply to college now and do pre-med?
Well, no, I got an A+.
This is a sun, and this is a housey, and this is my mom, and I'm holding her hand, and I can be your astronaut robotician.
Listen, that's not what it
I
is.
did a pee-pee all done by myself.
Where are your parents? Where are your parents?
Did you ring one into the Getting It Right department?
Sorry?
Yeah, we got a call down to the Getting It Right department that needed some help with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm here to help them. My job is to get it right.
Okay, great. It's just that my sink's broken.
I'll get it right for you.
Okay, great. I was actually just looking up the plumbers.
Oh.
And just so I'm a plumber, but you...
Oh, so you accidentally called. You didn't mean to call the Getting It Right guys.
It was right next to every single ad on every single page.
Yeah, no, we put ourselves out there.
Yeah, I thought you maybe were one of those services that just...
Listen, ma'am, did we get it right or did we get it wrong?
Well, I guess
It's a simple question.
What is she saying? What is she
was
saying?
able to fit...
She's equivocating, hemming and hawing.
Oh, well, she could learn a thing or two,
Well, I don't... It's just that, getting it right or get it wrong, there are only two options there. I can't...
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
He did know how to unscrew the pipe, but he didn't manage to put it back together or get the clog out of the...
That sounds like at least half right, which we're going to round up to getting it right.
We tell her it's a slope. We have to do sort of new business. It takes time to get things perfectly right.
Listen, I'm calling because I'd like my money back because the problem wasn't completely fixed.
Well, we have a pretty strict policy here. If we got it wrong, we'll return your money. But if we get it right, we have to keep it so that we can keep getting it right.
But that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a complete right, nor was...
Did you tell her about if we get 3 rights, that we get one free?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, well, make sure you...
maybe it's good.
Hey, listen, I tried to get that radiator fixed for you, and I pretty much had it, but I've been having a lot of family problems. So your car's still not running, but hey, come back next week. I feel like my wife is cooling out.
Okay, I'm really sorry for your personal troubles, but I hired you to do the job, you know, to fix my radiator.
Yeah, family problems. So.
Yeah, but you know, the client is always right. I wanted the car today. I need the car today.
You're right. You're 100% right about that. You need it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to take my family on vacation. I mean, I can just...
You got problems with your family?
No, my family's doing great. My family's doing great, but now...
Okay, thanks for bragging.
Well, now I'm gonna have a problem with my family because you're not giving me my fucking car.
You got such a great family, you fix the car.
Okay, sweetie, so I dropped off the groceries and I cleaned the house and, bye. See you next month.
Bye, Mom. Jeez.
You're fine, right?
I guess no, but
Okay. All better now.
yeah, I guess so.
Have a good day, honey.
Sure, bye.
Bring, 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 bring.
I'm supposed to answer the phone when no one's home. Oh, right. Johnson residence.
It's your dad.
Oh, hey, Dad.
Hey, just calling the yearly checkup.
Dad, are you thinking of coming by sometime?
Well, ooh, tough. I mean, you know, I was planning on calling a couple more years, but it's a lot to ask. Did your mother tell you that?
No, she told me that she dropped off some groceries. I'll ask her next month. I forget every time. I thought,
Well, if you got nothing to say, I got a lot of shit I gotta do.
I just don't know where to start, Dad. I just feel like I'm really bad at communicating because I don't really spend any time talking to any adults. Hang on a sec, Dad.
Hey, I'm just robbing the house. You
Is
just
that-
stay here.
Okay, should I ask my dad?
I didn't know there was a kid in here, but don't worry
If
about
you want
it.
to stay for a little while, there's new groceries and
Well, listen, don't tell your parents or anything. I'm sure everything will be fine.
I can hear everything that's going on.
here that
So don't call the cops. We already called them 20 years ago, so they checked in on us
I
plenty.
don't really understand the rules. Are you a social worker or?
Oh, you want me to call a social worker for you?
Do you know my dad? You want to talk to my dad?
Hello, is this your son?
Yeah, it is, yeah. What, is he causing you any problems?
Oh no, he's been great. But listen, I just feel like, I don't know, maybe he needs a pizza or something like that. It's past lunchtime. You want me to order him something?
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice, but look, what are you taking? Because we got robbed 6 years ago, so
I'm taking the TV. I was gonna trash your bedroom, look for your wife's jewelry.
cool, yeah, fill in the gaps, you know, take whatever you need.
Thanks for meeting me after all this time.
Of course.
This is a bit awkward because you were right all those years and I just didn't want to see it.
I ordered a coffee. Did you want a coffee?
No, just water. Yeah.
Tell me what you've been doing. I mean, before you jump into anything, what are you doing now?
Yeah, of course. I'm at MIT.
You're at MIT.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
So you mean, wait, you said I was right. So you started studying. You started listening to your teachers.
Yeah. I don't know. Once I got to junior year, I was like, bleh, sure, whatever, I'll try. And I did. And I got a full scholarship.
That's incredible.
I know.
I gotta admit it, every time I've given an inspiring speech like that, I'm thinking that kid is doomed.
And to be fair, I heard like 20 of those inspiring speeches, and I thought every time, fuck, I'm doomed. But
You made it happen.
I did.
That's amazing. Let's hang out for a while. Can we get some food or something? Let's get a drink.
I'm under 21.
All right.
Okay, class, and now that I've taught you the history of Nazism, just forget it. We're just gonna wipe that clean. We're just gonna erase the board, wipe it from your mind. Simple as that.
Can't do that.
What are you gonna cause me problems here? Come on, look, I can't keep it on the board forever. You just have to forget some stuff. This board would be so crowded if we had to keep everything on the board.
I can't just forget Nazis.
Well, you gotta make room for algebra.
I don't see how the two are mutually exclusive.
Because one thing can only fit on the board at a
I
time.
remember more than what you write on the board in a daily session.
Oh, well, front of the class,
I'm already
okay.
sitting at the front of the class.
Look,
I feel like I'm not learning because you keep telling me to forget the things that you teach me.
yeah, okay, well, unless you cough up the dough to buy, boards to line the fucking school, okay, that we can fill up with, as much learning as you want, I'm gonna have to erase this and you're gonna have to forget about it.
Why do you think everything I...
Hey, teacher. I would like to hang out with you. Do I remind you of you?
So much.
I don't have many friends.
Really? I can't believe that. You should come spend time at my house. Do you like tea?
I love
Do you
tea.
like chamomile?
I can. I
Do
didn't
you like
love it
the
for...
fresh flower chamomile?
Oh, sure.
Because I've got the full blossom chamomile, and we can dry it from my garden, and we can garden together, and we can build a whole life together.
I love anything if I can spend time with people.
Yeah, but what I'm really looking for is a job where I tell kids what to do and sort of act like I know more than them. I didn't like that when I was a kid, and I feel like I want to get back at kids.
That's what you're looking for here.
Yeah, so anything...
At the school.
Yeah, I figure you got a lot of kids here. Maybe I can yell at some of them after school to get a little warm-up.
We're interviewing for a physics teaching position.
Yeah, so like throw shit at them.
Tell you what, I'll do that physics teaching profession, and I'm gonna do your math teaching, and your English teaching, and I'm gonna be an astronaut.
Well, we're not looking for all
So
those.
listen, I cook, I fold, I drive, I'll shop a little bit, gender neutral stuff only.
I'm a little baby. I don't know what to do.
I can't quite understand you.
I'm a little baby. I'll teach kids for sure.
All right, we're gonna do an articulation.
Oh, okay. Well, you say, boys.
Well, actually, we're so glad to finally have you on board. You have been the first person who fulfills all of our basic requirements.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm a baby.
Matilda, everything's good here at the home. Just, you need to hire more babies. Just keep hiring people that are in their 30s. College degrees.
Ding dong! Ding dong!
Yeah, come in.
Getting it right, guys. Hi, yeah. Oh, no, come back. It's okay.
Honey, you can stay. You don't have to be shy. You can open the door and stay to see who comes in.
Yeah, just.
I don't like the get it right, guys.
Oh, that's we have a bad rap, but you know what? Someone called wanting to fix their marriage, and we're gonna get it right.
Right.
Hey, listen, thieves, burglars, criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we gotta do more for the community. All right? A lot of broken homes in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot of broken windows.
Yeah, sure. A lot of broken children.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, so, we're getting it wrong, guys. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna kick a door down, we're gonna hit a kid with a brick or whatever we got.
University, Harvard University. Congratulations, you're funked. Okay? I hope you enjoyed your success, but you're doomed. All right? I'm telling you like it is. All right? You guys are just completely, utterly fucked, and there's no way around it. Okay? Great. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna collect my commencement speech money.
I'm gonna walk around the crowd and punch everybody in the face. Welcome to reality, motherfuckers!
World out there! Reality! Oh, it's gonna bite you in the face, but better. Here at Getting It Right, boys.
I want everyone to just take a deep breath here at Getting It Calm. The goal here is to not harm anyone. We don't want to scream in any of our fellow participants' faces tonight. This is just sort of an inverse of what you're used to if you're coming out of the Getting It Wrong program.
Can I make an announcement? Does everyone have their Saturday forms? Did everyone bring their Saturday forms?
I think I saw a couple on the way in.
Great, good.
We have pencils if you need them.
Yeah.
We try not to write in pen because permanence is not really a philosophy
Yeah,
that we believe in.
Why do you?
Okay, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you!
How's your kids?
Pretty good, how's your kids?
Shit.
That's not a surprise. Shit dad, shit kids. Sorry, man.
I kind of feel like you're like family. Because ever since you came back, that actually made a big difference for me.
Thank you.
And the fact that you've actually kept this going makes a big difference for me. Because when I go back to class and I give that bullshit speech to other pieces of shit like you were, it's not bullshit anymore. So even though I still like just fucking around with you, I feel like if you're gonna get back on that flight this time, I should just come out and say it. So I love you. I care about you.
Yeah, that's it. That's Deconstruction. Let's connect Miles 1 second.
Audio first. Miles, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna try to get you back on the screen, but yeah, there we go. And whoa.
Blurry.
There's a weird
Oh, focus.
There's,
Mac.
yeah, there's the.
Oh, there we go.
It's just, okay, great. Anyway, any comments?
You want to say anything?
That was great.
Thanks.
I'm kind of blown away by the fact that I've never done anything like this before, and the fact that I just watched a live show in Berlin from a patio strikes me as nuts.
Yeah, would you ever have imagined when you guys were first doing this form that you'd be Skyping in internationally to talk about it?
Oh, when we started, there were 2 theaters in the world that were doing long-form improvisation, and they were about a mile apart. And now it's everywhere in the world, so it's amazing. I don't want to sit here and give notes on your goddamn show in front of your audience.
That's fine. Maybe then, is there anyone in the audience who has a question about what they saw or the format or anything? Anyone? No, everyone gets it.
Wow, amazing.
Cool. Then I mean,
Yeah.
thanks so much for talking to us and for creating the format and for teaching Chris, who's now teaching all of us here.
You clearly have all the basics there. The form was there. There's stuff that I'm sure you can work on with Chris. Chris knows this shit. He worked with me for a few years. So it's funny because I was imagining most of you speaking German, or at least with German accent.
very.
It looks like a bunch of Americans doing a decon.
It's yeah, it was about 75%.
75% what?
Americans.
Almost.
That's true. This is the least international team that's ever played on this stage.
But yeah, so thank you so much, Miles. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and keep doing it. I look forward to what you do in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miles. Yes. Pretty good, yeah. We didn't break the internet. Well, so thanks everybody for coming tonight. It was really a pleasure to start the show, and just to say that, yeah, there's improv every Friday night here, sometimes on Sundays. Then there's every Thursday
there's the jams.
improv jam.
If you've never done improv before, but you want to just jump right in with a bunch of people, it's really fun. Every Thursday here, improv
Yeah,
jam.
and if you want to learn, okay, this is too private. If you want to learn some improv, you can go to hiveimprov.com, which is led by Chris, and there's a bunch of classes, different styles of improv, and a whole curriculum for you guys to learn if you would want to. And with that said, we invite all of you to our next show, which will be the 30th of April.
The 30th.
And yeah, I don't know which format we're gonna do,
Yeah,
but
it's a mystery at the moment.
it's a mystery, but it's gonna be something completely different, and I hope you guys come back. Thanks all of you.